All right, hey guys, so I'm gonna make a video today about all the tools needed to do a mid-drive install. This video is gonna be specific towards the Bafang, the BBS02 and the BBS HD, but a lot of these tools are gonna be universal for pretty much any mid-drive install. If you're new to this channel, I'm Johnny Nerd Out. I'm a professional e-bike builder, mechanic, converter, electric motorcycle builder, solar panel enthusiast, all these self-sustainable stuff. And above all, a pretty chill dude. So let's get right into it. I want to go over all the tools you need and what they do. So hopefully it'll be a fairly quick video, and this will help you shop out all the tools you need if you're thinking about doing an install yourself. It isn't very hard, you can do it, and stay tuned. I'm going to be doing another video that'll take you step by step on how to do the install. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, so first up, we have a pedal wrench. This is a 15mm pedal wrench. This works with most pedals to get them off. Occasionally you might come across a pedal that doesn't use this one, but this will get most pedals off of your crank arm. And I always recommend taking the pedal off first. Do it while it's on the bike so you can get some leverage. I've definitely made the mistake before of trying to take the pedal off after you've taken the crank arm off the bike, and it's a lot harder to get leverage, and you just look like a silly Billy doing it that way, so don't do it. Okay, so pedal wrench. This one's a high quality one. This is a Park Tool one. This is top of the line. You're not gonna get a better quality pedal wrench than this one. You can go lower. You could find one, you could risk it, getting a lower quality one and save a little bit of money. It's up to you. Okay, and then once after you get the pedals off, you're gonna need to remove your crank arm bolt. It's an 8mm bolt for most. There are a couple weird bikes out there that use like a bolt, a different size bolt, but most of them are an 8mm Allen, which I like using these long ones with the handles. You get a lot more leverage because sometimes they get in there and they're stuck. So you get all that leverage, and this just makes your life a lot easier. You don't need to do this, but this is a Park Tool 8mm. Okay, so next we have a crank puller. So this is what actually takes your crank arms and gets them off of your bottom bracket. This one I do not recommend cheaping out on. I've made that mistake. I bought like a cheap tool kit, and it came with a cheap one of these, and the metal is just, it's not made out of good metal, so it's like soft metal, and you'll end up stripping either this out or your crank arm threads in there. And that's a major hassle. Don't do it. Then you have to cut your crank arms off or whatever. So, I mean, this thing is 15 bucks at most. Just, you could save $4 and get a crappy one, and then just have a nightmare on your hands, possibly. Don't cheap out on this one. This is the one that I recommend. I don't carry anything cheaper than this one, just because it's not worth it. Get this one, Park Tool, CWP7. I'd probably get a Pedro's crank puller too, but other than that, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. Spend a couple extra bucks and get a good one. Okay, so once you get the crank arms off, you're gonna need to remove your bottom bracket from your frame. They come in different styles, different brands. This is a Shimano one. They also have, Park Tool has ones that on the back will actually fit a 3/8 ratchet or breaker bar. So you could use a breaker bar or even an impact wrench for ones that are really, really stuck on. This one is a larger one. I can't remember the size offhand. It's either 34mm, somewhere between 32 and 36, but you'll need an adjustable wrench. And this just fits in the splines on your bottom bracket on both sides. And yeah, you just use an adjustable wrench to pull this off. And then that'll remove your bottom bracket. And then you have that empty shell, which the motor slides into. So this one, I've never had any bad luck with any bottom bracket tools. So I carry a couple different trim lines on them. It's up to you. You could go top of the line, Shimano, you could go Park Tool, you could go generic, you could go whatever. Personally, I use a generic one, but whatever. If you want to have nice things, get the nice one. Have peace of mind. Okay, so next we have the Master Link pliers. This is to remove your chain. It breaks the chain apart so that you can remove your front derailleur, because you're gonna have to remove your front derailleur, and you need to break the chain apart. If your chain has a master link, all you need is this. But if it doesn't, you're gonna need the chain breaker. If that your chain does not have master links. Most chains have master links, so all you just need is a master link plier to just squeeze the chain and break apart that master link. But if your bike doesn't have a master link, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Okay, so if your chain does not have a master link in it, you're gonna need a chain tool. This breaks the pins inside the chain so that you could break the chain apart, feed it through, take your front derailleur off, and then put it back together with this. It's important not to fully remove your pin, but I'll get more into that on the install video. This is a really nice one. This is a park tool. I have had bad luck with these if you use a low quality chain tool. So for this, I also recommend just spend a couple extra bucks, get a good quality one, and just have that peace of mind. The last thing you want to be doing when doing a e-bike install is have crappy tools that are just frustrating you because they're not working how they should. So this is one of those where I would just recommend getting a high quality one. Don't cheap out on this one either. You could also get, a multi-hex tool. This one's a park tool. Comes with pretty much every single thing you'll need. It comes with the 8mm, but you can see it's a lot smaller. You'll still get, this should be good enough for most people, but you're not gonna get as much torque. But this is nice because it has everything you need, because you're also gonna need a 5mm for installing the Bafang motor on. You're gonna need a 3mm for putting the display, and a 2.5 for putting the throttle on. I may have those backwards, but you're gonna need both of those. And something like this usually has most of these. This one is the Park Tool AWS 11, has a 3 through 10. So you're still gonna need to find a 2.5mm. So just keep that in mind. Depending on which display you get and which set you get, you're probably gonna need 2.5 to 8. 2.5, 3, 5, and 8. So keep that in mind. All right, next, this thing. This is for putting the speed pickup on your rear spoke. This is for the speedometer pickup. There's a little magnet that spins around in your spoke and it hits a little speed pickup on your rear chainstay. But in order to do it, you need a T20 with the security feature on it. So it's hollowed out in the middle. This is a special Torx one that they put on there so that no one can steal it, which is weird because I don't know how many of those things get stolen, but they decided this is the one thing on this kit that we don't want to get stolen. So we're going to put a T20 Torx bit to put this on and off. I don't know, but you need it. Okay, and then so there are 2 lock rings that snug the Bafang onto your bottom bracket. I have these little all-in-one tools. This one is for the main lock ring that goes on, that really clamps it in. And then this one is the one, it's the outer lock ring. It's more of like the protective shell, the decorative one that kind of goes on and just snugs it on. And it protects that one and makes it look nice. You could get these in different flavors. There's a lot of different people that make ones that attach to, 3/8 breaker bars, ratchets, that are standalone. Those are nice because you get more leverage and you really can't over tighten those things. So it's good to get one that has that. This is good in a pinch because it has both. It's all in one tool and you could still get it pretty good. I would just put leverage on this and then take a rubber mallet and just tighten it down and get it really wrenched on there good. Okay, next is zip ties. These little guys. These I use a bunch of these on every install. I probably go through close to 50 of these. You could do away with as little as 20 probably, but I always end up wiring things together and then I decide I don't like the way that looks, so I cut them all off and I rewire things. I try to make it look as neat as possible. This just it's for all your wires. If you don't do it, if you've ever seen some people that make their own e-bikes and they just have wires everywhere, and it could be dangerous because those things could get snagged on things and it just looks gross. So get a bunch of these. I like getting like 8-inch, you might need 11-inch, and possibly just get some 6-inch, some small ones like this, just for tidying up around the handlebars. Just zip tie everything so they're all nice and clean. Plan on going through a bunch of zip ties. Every bike is different, so you may need different tools depending on your specific bike. You may need a 14mm socket to remove your crank arms. or to get access to put a crank puller into your crank arm, you may need a 14 or 15. You may need more Allen wrenches. I've seen some as low as 2 millimeters. Those are super rare, but 2.5 to 8 millimeters is usually what you need. You could use Torx. Some bikes, like on handlebars and brake levers, they use Torx. So you may need a whole Torx set. You may need a Phillips, big, small, number 2, number 1, number 3, and various sizes of flathead screwdrivers. Besides that, that's pretty much everything. I can't imagine you really needing anything else. There's probably a chance that I forgot something, but if you got all those tools that I just mentioned, you're totally fine. And like I said, there's some tools that you could get away with cheaping out on, especially if you only plan on doing 1 or 2 installs and you don't plan on maintaining your bike yourself at all. But for some of these tools, I really recommend don't cheaping out. It's a couple of dollars and it's gonna save you so much headache. Trust me, like, learn from my mistakes. I've done well over 100 installs. I've picked up a few tips and tricks, some of it the hard way. Hopefully you guys found this interesting, and stay tuned for my complete install video where I take you soup to nuts. I have all these tools listed on my website. Check it out, johnnynerd.com. If you spend over $1,000, use promo code YouTubeJohnny, save 25 bucks. That will buy you a few tools probably. So if you're buying a kit, check out my site. I'll throw in some free tools. Use this code YouTubeJohnny. Trying to get everybody on an e-bike, and an e-bike that rocks. So feel free to reach out. I'm usually pretty helpful. I'm usually pretty available to help you out on your install. Yeah, got a lot of different options on there, so definitely appreciate you supporting small business. Thanks guys, have a good one.